So the question was tax roll, where do we get that? You're required to have it for any of your listings when you put them in the SkySlope. There's two reasons for the tax roll. Well, there's one main reason for the tax roll. The one main reason for the tax roll is it confirms before you get the prelim, while you've got the listing agreement, it confirms who's on title to that property. So that's what they're gauging the listing agreement against, to make sure you got the right person. You actually have a legit listing agreement signed because it matches the names.
Sure.
Okay. That's the basics behind it. The other reason behind the tax roll is that, number one, it gives you an idea of like what the property taxes are on the property. And if you need to disclose there's Melrose, or there's a huge assessment associated with it. Because when you're pricing out properties and looking at comps and stuff, it's hard to compare a property that has $3,000 in assessments a year with a property that doesn't have that, right? Because that's going to affect the buyer pool, because now not only, like, if you price it for the same price, their payment's going to be $300 a month higher for the same price because the taxes increase. So something to keep in mind there. So we'll just pull up this one. So you can search the property if it's been in the MLS ever before. You can just search that property by the number if you haven't put it in the MLS now. If you've already put it in the MLS, then you can pull up your listing on it. You can access it. Forgot how much we sold that house for. All right. They're still living there. All right. So as you scroll through your listing, you've got this APN down here. That's a hyperlink. So, and it doesn't have to be your listing. It can be anytime it's ever been listed. You can click on this APN number and it's going to give you current information. So if we click on that, it's going to open up a new window, and this is going to be your tax roll here. So see, it confirms who is on title, owner 1, owner 2. It confirms the APN number, right? That's what else we're looking for. If you're ever looking for what legal description or neighborhood it's in, you've got it there. And then it's got down here, it's got, you want to make sure the address matches. And, and it shows the total tax amount. So just so you can kind of see that. This doesn't give you the breakdown of the taxes. It has the history, but you can, let's try clicking this and see where it takes us. I think this takes us to the further breakdown. I don't know.
It's free, right? SkySlope is free.
Yeah.
That's part of, yeah.
Is it same as the design, SkySlope, the design, or two different things?
Two different
Oh,
things.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, it gives us the super easy to decipher plot map.
The SkySlope. It's better. I mean.
Oh,
more.
we're a whole different subject.
Sorry.
Whole different subject. I'll come back to you in a second. So your plot map, which good luck finding the property. All right. So anyways, that's your tax. To print this, we just come over here to print. It's going to pull it up. If you have a Mac, I apologize, but this is really easy because you can just hit the little download button. If you have a PC, you should have a print to PDF program. So you can just hit the print, and instead of selecting a printer, you should be able to select PDF. It should print it into a PDF.
And it goes at the top for you PC people, at the top before the printers would normally save as a PDF.
Save it. Okay, there you go. Thank you. It's been a while, but I know there's an option there. So there's your tax roll. So Tara, does that help?
Yes, but is there another way to pull it up, because it's never been in the MLS?
Okay.
Because they bought it.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate that. What county is the property in?
Solano.
Okay. Solano County property. Oops.
That would have been easier, but no.
First transactions are never easy, Tara.
I'm learning that.
All right, so I just searched Solano. Sometimes it takes me like 2 tries to get to the right page. So we're going to start here. This is the online tax payment. That's not really what we want. We want online tax information. I think this will give it, let's see, Solano County. Well, maybe. All right, let's use the address. Give me the street number.
It's 1671
And name.
Autumnwood Court.
Autumnwood, like that?
Yes.
One word?
Yes.
Okay. And we're going to go Fairfield on that. I know my streets. I know my Solano County streets. It's actually
There's an
Cord,
automotive in back.
it's actually Cordelia.
Mhm.
All right, let's go. So I'm just gonna click on and hit detail. I'm gonna see what it spits out. No, not really what I like. All right. Because I really want, this is the tax bill. I really want the property information. So I was just in the wrong spot. Like I said, it usually takes me a couple times to get to the right spot. So let's. View online records index. Oh, here we go. View online. So I went to solanocounty.com and then I went to the assessor recorder homepage and then online property information. And I'll show you a third way to get here as well. Okay, so here's where you would put in, give me the street number again.
1671.
1671. You can also search by the assessment about or the APN number as well. So here, property values, details, information, we're gonna hit select. Here, it doesn't give us our owner's information, does it?
Mm-mm.
All right, hold on. Let me go back one. And then parcel map, no. That's really interesting. All right, so this whole county, don't ever go to the county website again. Bad example. All right.
It's a government- it's a government website. What do you expect out of it?
Yeah, good for nothing besides paying your money.
Right. So, have a relationship with a title company,
Solid.
solid, right? It doesn't matter which one, they all have access to the system. So it doesn't matter Placer, Fidelity, Old Republic, whoever you feel comfortable with. I don't care who you use. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I use Old Republic. I've used Old Republic for 15 years, maybe 16 now. I've been with Nicole Cisneros since she started as an escrow officer. So
Picture of habit.
yeah, my escrow officer that I was using, she went out on maternity leave and Nicole had filled in with her. And then I've been with Nicole ever since because the other one never came back.
Rough.
And then she never came back.
Oh, she didn't.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, the one that I originally was with never came back.
That's all. Amy's throat.
No, she never came back to Overlake. She decided she took
Oh, I
maternity leave
see.
and then,
Choosing baby over me.
yeah, right? How dare you? How dare you leave me all alone? All right, so in whatever login you have for your title company and your rep can show you how to get here, you should have a title pro. You guys are welcome to grab extra chairs and sit if you'd like. I may have to open the back door here in a second. They should have a title pro of some sort. It's usually, I think they're all actually called title pro. Careful, it's dangerous. I think I'm just gonna throw them back there. Yeah,
Maybe they'll get boxed up and stuff.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Then I won't have to deal with them. Avoidance. All right, it was 1761.
1671.
I was close. I was so
You were
close.
close.
Autumnwood. I usually just leave it Solano County because it pulls better that way than it does if you do city. Sometimes it's picky.
People in the front. There's one voice coming, but there's not.
And maybe it's not.
That way. Yeah.
All right, so here we have the property. This one, all I have to do is hit get now. Colin Dennis.
Those are the right owners.
That's always a good thing. All right, so here is the property tax roll, and here you can go convert to PDF. So this, again, it confirms the owner's names, the property details, the APN number. It's all on here. So this would
Perfect.
be-
That was
No one
easy.
do the top, right? No one
It-
says the
I do the whole thing.
top.
I'm lazy.
That's why we separate. Give them more than they asked for. Then they'll be done.
Lazy, it's just-
All I do is I hit convert to PDF and then I upload it. Technically, I don't. I hit convert to PDF. Technically, I don't do this at all.
Yeah.
So once you have a transaction coordinator, you know how to do this, then the transaction coordinator pulls it for you in the future.
Oh, we remove these.
Question.
Yeah.
Can you-
Then
This,
more
this
money.
guy right there,
Oh, you probably could.
because I feel like but I just don't know how much information it gives you all that.
All right,
That's a lot.
so Melissa wants me to try something else.
Well, it keeps you in berries.
All right,
and
so in berries,
or-
there's buttons that I just don't use because I've been doing this for 15 years and new buttons scare me.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So it takes me a long time to push new buttons. So Melissa says, hey, Amy, try this realist tax. So we're gonna try that right there on the front page of.
Keep you on one webpage, just if it works. I don't know, folks.
All right.
I just remember there was one I had to look up way when I first started and they were not in MLS. Yeah, I don't know what details. I see what you're reading in that.
No, no names.
No names, that's the only way you can get names.
It's-
Interesting.
Well, I could, let's try
Owner information.
owner information. There you go. Okay.
Mine shows names.
All right, so watch, so I went in here, there we go. And then you could print this. I'm sure there's a button right here, print.
Cause I looked up a family, I think.
Right here, see at the bottom, right, left, this is left, bottom left corner, print. And I just added whatever I needed to it by hitting customize view. So I went in there, customize, that's how I added the owner information. You could add other things in there, tax information, I don't know, location information,
So for the-
property
Yeah, how do
summary.
we know what we need
Yeah,
on
so-
our- for our tax roll? That's why I'm going.
Click
for
all the
RPC down.
I would say as long as you have the assessment tax, the owner information, right? So as long as you have the APN, the owner information tax, you should be
the
okay. But
location, right? You said the address has to match.
I think the location was on there
Oh, was
anyways.
it?
I think
Oh,
this,
at the top,
I
that's
think,
right, we typed it in.
yeah, it's right here. So all this was on here, but now I've added in some bonus stuff because I thought it'd be fun. Oh, here's the property information, gives me a little summary. That was handy. Owner information. Here's the location. It tells me what subdivision that's in case I needed that for the NLS entry. You can skip over that, but if you wanted to be specific, you can put it in there. Here's the tax information, gives you your tax ID, which is your APN, and then like the legal description. Here's the tax assessments, what the taxes, oh, the poor people that are gonna buy this, they're gonna get such a big supplemental property tax bill. I feel sorry for them already.
I don't.
If somebody's gonna get that.
Okay,
I'm kidding.
so
I was
I
told
was
one of
wondering the
mine
same
was
thing.
getting that, but one isn't. So I'm like,
you're told what?
I was told by title, I think it's title, that one was gonna get it. The buyers of my San Leandro are gonna get like $7,000.
Oh, it's gonna be an ugly tax, an ugly supplemental property tax bill.
They
All right.
said, let them know.
So,
I'm like,
Oh,
so
good thing that's not my people.
here's how it rolls. Okay, your property taxes at the close of escrow are paid based, are prorated based on the current owner's property tax rates.
Oh,
Okay, in California, your property taxes are gonna be roughly based on your purchase price. Okay, if you purchase a property below market value, it's not gonna be on your purchase price. The assessor's not stupid. Okay, they will come back and when they reassess it, it'll be closer to what market value should have been. Just so you know, I only know from experience. But generally speaking, it's based on purchase price. So when we look here, our 2021 assessed value is going to be, see, we have total land and improved. So they take improved and land and they add it to the total. So this property is, the assessment's based on $240,524. Okay, that property is probably going to sell, what are you thinking, Tara, closer to like 650?
Yeah, like 650, 655.
Yeah. So that's a gap of like 400,000. Okay, so when they close on the property, they're gonna pay a prorated tax amount based on the date they take possession until the end of the tax period, based on this 240. And when they reassess the property tax assessor is gonna come back and say, oh, and by the way, you prepaid your taxes based on this amount, but it really should have been this amount. So here's your supplemental property tax bill. Have fun.
oh boy.
Okay, now the good news is most lenders are keep enough in the reserves because they're taking property taxes or setting up property taxes based on the new property tax amount, assuming they've calculated that appropriately. So oftentimes if they'll call their lender, the lender's got enough in reserves, they can pay that supplemental property tax bill, but they won't do it automatically. They have to call the lender. So you can always let your buyers know that always check with your lender first before you pay that. And if there's funds there, and they can always decide, well, they can, if the lender's like, well, there might be funds, but we're not sure, you can go ahead and have the lender pay it. And you might have an escrow shortfall then, which means that in January, they're going to reevaluate your escrow account and they may change your payment just a little bit to
help
to
make
bump
up.
what goes into your escrow account to make up for that loss. So just a couple things to pay attention to there. But the easiest way to find out what somebody's property tax, supplemental property tax bill is going to be is we're going to go to property. ER. I don't know. Property ID. Property ID is an NHD company. There's lots of different companies. We don't have a rep that comes by on this one locally. Otherwise, I might use them. But I really like their website because you can create an account and it's free. Okay. I like free too. So you can create this free account. And with this free account, I can come up here to resources and I can go to property tax estimator.
So hurry up. They send more than that.
And then we can go look up property tax information. Without an account, you can pull this, but you have to hand key all this information. And with an account, you can go in and pull the property tax information. So we had 1671 AUT. I'm doing good, huh? And we hit search.
You have to ask for kind of money.
I think I'm on like 7 or 8.
A little slide.
All right, so see, it pulls the previous assessed value, the tax rate, and any direct assessments. And then we put in the purchase price here, like once you enter into contract, representing the buyer, you put in whatever they're in contract for and when we're gonna close. We're just gonna say we're gonna close on June 15th, okay? And then you're gonna hit calculate. So here it's gonna tell you what the new estimated annual property tax rate is gonna be, which is $7,695.44. And the supplemental property tax bill is gonna be $4,743.72.
So we're looking at $4,000 every 6 months, roughly.
And a bonus bill.
And then another 4,000. So what they'll probably do, or 5,000, that's
Yeah.
2,500. So you're looking at $6,500 that's gonna be split between 6 months.
No. This is a one-time payment.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
That's at the close of escrow.
That's not at the close of escrow. That happens about 3 to 4 months after the close of escrow, however long it takes the county tax assessor to reassess the property. They're gonna get stuck with this tax
Maybe they're
bill.
backed up, so maybe a little bit longer.
so that deposit money that you're supposed to pay, that you sometimes you get back when you put money down or whatever. You put it in the savings.
Yeah,
account.
put it in a savings account. So this is always a good idea to look this up for your buyers and make sure they see it so that they know what to expect in their supplemental property tax bill. And depending on the time of year, you'll have one, they'll divide it into 1 or 2 payments, right? So if we had closed, like back in November, then you get 2 bills because the bill for the year has already been sent out. It's due for the time period that's January to June. And then right, so you pay your property taxes, comes due in November, late in December for January to the end of June. And then your next one comes due, it's late in April. That covers the period July 1st through the end of the year. So if you are at the beginning of the year, you end up with 2 payments oftentimes.
But I mean, if they have like, if they're doing the Prop 19, then this kind of isn't accurate, right?
Correct. So the question, Prop 19 is, so if you've got somebody that's 55 years or older, or they're a victim of a natural disaster, then
Or they're 100% disabled.
or they're 100% disabled. They don't even have to be 55 and 100% disabled if they're a vet and using their VA and whatever. You get a
Either-
discount on your
either
property
or.
taxes. Yeah. But if you're 55 or older, a victim of natural disaster, which is what falls under Prop 19, that a disabled does not, you can transfer your property tax rate anywhere in the state of California that you move. So Heather has a client that's selling a property in Sacramento. She's over the age of 55. She sold the property. It doesn't matter. She sold the property for $725,000. So she could buy any property anywhere in the state of California for $725,000, and her property tax rate would stay exactly the same as what it was on her old house.
Or lesser value, right?
Yeah, so she's doing
Oh,
less.
so
She's
then
buying
they're
less,
way
but
less.
so it'll still stay the same. because her assessed value was less than what she bought the property for, the new property for. So
Forever, or do they reassess it like the following year?
every
or-
year it goes up a little bit incrementally, but it doesn't
The same
ever,
amount
it
of
doesn't
money.
jump.
Yeah, it jumped and
Like, just kidding. next
It's like
year
if
you're
she's
Yeah.
gonna
moving
have
from
$7,000.
Sacramento to
Exactly.
Beverly Hills where the tax rate,
Yeah.
right there, she would still have her.
Yeah.
section.
You would still pay the assessment. So if there's direct assessments on a property, so if you've got one with direct assessments, it's like $3,600 a year. Those are still gonna get added to your tax rate, but your base tax rate's gonna remain the same. Now, if you buy a property that's more, let's say we sold the property for 725 and then we bought a property for $1 million, your tax rate would stay the same for the first 725,000, and then you would pay the adjusted rate for the remaining 275,000. You would pay the current, you'd pay an additional tax rate there. So, but it does allow people to move, especially elderly, that would otherwise be trapped. Because if you're on a fixed income, like my grandma, like before Prop 19, for her to move closer to my parents, she would have been bankrupt in property taxes to buy another property. But this allows her to she's lived in the house she's lived in now for, I don't know, 50 years. She bought it for like $30,000. So her assessed value is like 100 and some odd thousand at this point. So she could take that now and move to anywhere else and keep that tax rate. So it's a really big benefit, especially right now when you start looking at property taxes and where the purchase prices are, because a lot of people are feeling trapped, right? Because the property tax rates. And so if you have a client that's a veteran and that they're 100% disabled, they also get a huge discount on their property taxes. They have to fill out some paperwork and work that out, but it's a huge
Actually, not
benefit.
much. I just got the form for a client, so 2 pages.
Well, sometimes it takes a little bit of
It
like
takes- Yeah.
stabbing at the county.
Yeah. That was
So
paperwork. kind
there's
of dry.
nothing like that, like if people are moving like from another state to here.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's just like, I can't afford it because I mean, it's like old.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I saw a
And the
nice
form I
house
got
that,
was from a friend of
Nancy
mine.
Ladd had, and so I noticed that 3 people died there in the last 8 years.
Oh, man.
I was like, okay, never mind, just, I'm moving on. Not
He
okay
wasn't
for me.
aware of it, he's 100% disabled and he's over 55. And he was not aware of it, and he just got a huge tax check from the state or county because he filed for his disability and all that kind of stuff, and they're like, his taxes never changed. He just kept going. to
Yeah.
that. And it just kept getting bigger and bigger, and the bill never changed, and they were like, oh, we need to adjust this.
Yeah.
And they adjusted it, and he got this check, and he was, I can pay off my house. I'm like,
Dang.
there you go.
Life changing.
Yeah.
They just gave him his money back.
Okay, so just so I'm tracking, the annual property tax, that was gonna be their one-time big hit.
This,
And then,
this is gonna be their
No.
new property tax
Okay.
bill that their lender will, if they're paying it through escrow, will be divided by 12 months.
got it,
And gets paid in December and April,
got it, got it.
2
okay.
payments. It'll
So
get,
the supplement was the big.
The
other-
supplemental.
Okay, got it, okay, I was like. got
That's
it.
kind of like your true charges for your.
Yeah,
for
Come
your
on.
taxes.
Yeah.
Your notes. No.
huh? Oh, they're slapping notes,
It's
I was.
okay. I just needed direction.
I
What
like
was
that.
the, when you went to resources, what was the
Send you
tab
my
that you did,
notes.
that'll say?
property tax estimator.
I mean, hand holding, so I tried holding.
I used to be that way, but I left the bottom.
You can always pick it back up.
Yes.
All right, so you can go to Realist on Barry's for your property tax roll. Done, and then you can add your columns that you need, and then you can print it with customized view. Or you can go to the old listing, if there was one. If there wasn't one, then you're out of luck. Those are gonna be your 2 easiest ways there, and then your, like I said, your property tax estimator through property ID. Property
It can
ID.
actually just be almost a custom at this point with any houses, like showing that to your buyer, like, because some people know, but they're not really.
Yeah.
And then obviously it has to be their primary residence that they could take advantage of, like if they're
Yes.
55, 100% disabled, all this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then also too, it might be a good idea to, you can print up the exemption form for anybody who's buying a primary residence. That's always something that'd be nice to give them at the close of escrow or they're one of those touches that you can do that you can systematize and, add into your command database to do as people close, one of those smart plans. The they get to reduce their property tax basis by $7,000. So if their assessed value was 550, it would reduce it down to 543. So for a primary home, it's not a huge savings, but you know, every little bit counts.
With your property taxes, for your purchase price, that's what's based off, but if you refinance, do they base, it's what you paid?
Yeah,
So you
it'll
refinance
always
those.
stay what you paid unless you do major improvements to your house.
Got
And
it.
major improvements usually fall under like structurally changing, adding an auxiliary dwelling unit, and increasing the size of your property, like something major to the property, then that's where you would cut, it would trigger reassessment of your property.
Okay. Well, good to know.
We have family land in Idaho
Mhm.
that has not been built on in almost 120 years.
Hmm.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Has not officially been built on,
Yeah, yeah.
and there's two reasons why, because my grandfather paid half a cent an acre.
Mhm.
Bought the property.
Mhm.
You gotta go.
And built the house.
Mhm.
They added to the house. Roof collapsed. We built the house, but the house never really changed.
Uh-huh.
And the tax, they used to be saying like, you know, census guy would come out, whatever. It's never gonna be a census.
Got
So
it.
they're still paying the property taxes that they have. I think it's minimal. But
It is minimal. and
very
That's
minimal.
good. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
Yeah.
sour. She put a date to everything, so
Sour.
now I'm like,
Sour?
no, I'm kidding.
Just what, 621 or something?
Amy?
Something around that.
Hey, I didn't put that date on there. James did.
Oh, now we got real
Jeez.
bummed. Excuse all of us.
We're at pitchforks.
All right. Any other questions?
I have a question, Amy.
Yes.
So if you decide to build ADU, does the property tax rate change the next year?
Yeah, it will, I believe an ADU will trigger reassessment. I don't know that it'll reassess up to like the current value of the property, but I believe they'll add in the value of the auxiliary dwelling unit, but I don't know exactly on that. It'd be a good question to call the county and ask the county what happens in that case, like what the new assessed value is based on, but it will trigger your property taxes to increase.
All right, got it. Thank you.
Yeah.